Alright guys, this is Docm with another Minecraft video, and today I want to introduce my new test map, and I want to show you the Nether Lung. So we're going to do an inside look into the Nether Lung, but in addition I'm going to provide an empty test world I just made with MC Edit. Takes a while. It is a 200 by 200 chunks area. We got a glass cover on top, so it's not gonna be raining around here. We got half slabs on top, sandstone half slabs. Then we got a few layers of dirt, and after that we got massive stone all the way, so we got no caves. And this would be a world that would be suitable for mob signs, for testing with mob traps and stuff, because we have the half slab areas on top, so no mobs can spawn. And yeah, it's a 3200 by 3200 blocks area all around us. 200 by 200 chunks. One chunk is 16 by 16. So yeah, do the math. That's what we got here. And right here in the middle I will import the Nether Lung now. But yeah, check the video description. There will be a download for this empty test world, and of course for the test world where we do the inside look for the Nether Lung. Okay guys, so I'm done. I imported the Nether Lung into this test environment here. Keep in mind, the Nether Lung is not made spider proof. We will do that later on, very easy, so we will see slightly less drop rates because spiders have a very low chance to drop through our spawning floors here. So let's see. I'm on peaceful. Let's go to hard and check out what the setup can do. Take a short while. Oh, we see the first drops here already. Okay, it starts. Okay, takes a while. Click in gear. No, I should not do that. I should not get too close to the spawning grounds. Okay, there we go. Yeah, now it picks up speed. Alright. Yeah, most definitely those are drop rates you could live. Oh yeah, now it started. Okay. Those are drop rates you really could live with in a normal world, in a vanilla world. In a setup like this you could use water to centralize the drops. Keep in mind this is a nether design, and I want to show you the principles about the design, and that you can also use it as a trap here in the normal world. If you're interested in how I implemented the thing in my nether, just check out episode 58 of the world tour, the Iron Lung. You can see how it runs down there and what I had to do to make it work. So now what we need to keep in mind, the thing is not spider proof. Spiders can spawn, and that will decrease our spawn rates quickly. Spiders can drop through the shifting floors here, but the chances are very low. So indeed we have to make this thing spider proof to get the maximum yield rates in a normal world. But first I'd say we take a look at some of the principles used for this trap, and then I'll show you the different stages of building one and what you have to think about. But yeah, still look, even if we get spiders spawning in there, drop rates are still very, very good. Okay, so let's look at some of the principles. Okay guys, here you can see an outside view of the Iron Lung. I turned it off for now, and we first need to talk about some principles. This is a very basic test setup to show how the drop traps or fall traps work. If you look at the back side of this pillar here, you can see I marked it with level 24 with that sign. So if we go down, starting at the surface of the water, so here this line marks the 0 line, okay? And then we go up 24 blocks, and the top of this block, or where the sign is positioned on, that level marks 24 blocks. So there's a distance of 24 blocks exactly from the water surface to the drop here. Below the drop, or below the water surface, I have fences in there. The fences are a bit higher than 1 block. They stick out into the water, and thus when a mob drops down, he will take damage as if he drops on floor. The good thing about it is though, we can collect out drops by that, you know, because yeah, I can close it off here a bit to make it a bit more reliable. But yeah, the principle is, let me get up, you got the water streams here. I got 1 source block in that corner and 1 in that, and that creates that water pattern that channels all the drops here to the middle. And if mobs die around here, we have collection areas. That's why people use the fences and the water streams. So we could demonstrate it real quick. I got some spawning eggs. Let's drop a creeper. He's dead. You know, I'm dropping him from 24 blocks. Let's drop a skelly. Also dead. Let's drop a zombie. Dead. So we know we have to be, if we go lower, they will survive. You know? So you can see the loot that gets collected ends up down there, and we can easily pick it up. We could put another block here so we can see it. So yeah, that is the idea. So we know one thing, we need to drop them 24 blocks. Another thing we know is there's a certain butter zone, I call it, in which mobs can spawn. So if we start from level 24, and I might use a different colored wool now so we see it better. Maybe yellow. If we go up, it's level 24. Now we are 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. That is the maximum level. Mobs will spawn away from a player. That's a spawning radius. So to make it more clear, let me just put a floor in here. So we mark out another level and block on top. So if we are down here as the player, this would be our collection area. We might, I don't know, stand here, you know, and wait for our loot to collect in that spot. Pick it up. Now we're 24 blocks away from our first level, and the maximum would be 32, and the second layer there would be 32 blocks away. So we know now we can work. Yeah, look, one spawned on top while I was down, so it's working. So we know now within this section here we can have spawning floors, and there are different principles, you know, many different designs. Lanes, you might need to trick the mobs to walk off. I don't know why that one just walked into his doom, but whatever. So yeah, that's what you can do to achieve the goal. You just saw one thing. It's fairly interesting. If I drop the skelly from here now, there is a chance, let me see, there are certain weird spots where mobs don't die. I saw that lately. I don't know if it's gonna happen here. I think Red Eye showed that in a fairly interesting research video. But normally we should be in a safe zone. If the mob drops from here, he should die as well, and that's what's happening. But you saw the skeleton just now. He was alive down there, and I believe he dropped. But in any case, this is the butter zone where I can work with. And now, as I said, there can be different solutions for traps and whatnot. And what I did now was the sieve trap design. The Zuma Void, for example, worked with that, and a few other people. And I just thought it is a good design, a good idea. And then we improved it a bit. Everybody contributed here and there with small improvements. And finally, I thought, yeah, why not use solid floors and shift them around? And that is one of the next principles we have to look at, the shifting floors and why do mobs fall through. Okay guys, I made a little setup to demonstrate the shifting floors and what it does. First of all, let's have a look at the setup here. We got a 3x3 area. You can see it inside the glass here. That is basically our spawning area. mobs would spawn in there. It's bigger over there, of course, in the nether lung. So we got the floor, we got the pistons. You leave a one wide gap here, and you have delay. Bring up the line and power all these pistons on this side, and also bring up the line and power all the pistons on that side. So what will happen, you have a button here, if I press that one, those pistons here will immediately shift out because they get the power immediately, there's no delay. And after a short while, after that delay, the signal will reach this side and shift the floor back. So let's have a look. Shifts over, delay, shifts back. That is what creates those glitches mobs could fall through. In any case, let's throw in some mobs. I don't know, a few creepers, and maybe what else? Some skellies. I have a roof on top here in case we're working on sunlight so they don't burn. Okay, so you got them in there, and now let's watch what happens if I shift the floors. Aha. So they fall through, and you saw quite a lot of them falling through. When the floor shifts to the left or to the right, in either pass, they fall through. Now they fell, goes back, creeper fell. Bam, and they die. It's not, I have no walls here and stuff, that's why some drops might end up on the sides here. But what will happen is they will die, loot gets collected, and they land on here. And that is the idea behind the thief trap. It's like a thief, it shifts them through. And to automate it a bit, well, either you could just stand there, you know, and press a button constantly and activate the system, or, and that is the heartbeat functionality that I have here at the Iron Lung, just use a clock. You can see the clock, that's a gun, the clock here on top. It has a certain delay, it depends a bit on your system. So, if you have figured out the basic idea and everything, that's what you can see here, then you think about how to maximize the area. Well, you know, pistons can only push a certain amount of blocks. So let's test that out real quick. Let's put down a piston here, and I believe it was 13 blocks if I remember correctly. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. See, push the button. Can't push it, so it is 12. Probably. Yeah, 12 blocks can be pushed. So, okay, then you just think about how to bring it to the max. 12 blocks can be pushed back and forth. So, you would think about putting pistons here and there, and then create the same thing on a bigger scale. Now, you could make it fairly wide, even wider than 12 blocks. You don't have to stay in a square shape. Keep in mind how long the redstone can travel, you know, before you need repeaters. But repeaters are also not too bad in a system like that. If you offset the shifting a bit, you can reduce lag. But yeah, then you would just build spawning grounds like that. You would line up some pistons. Let's make a 10 wide, for example, now, or let's make it 11. Let's see. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we do the same thing on the other side. Oops. And yeah, eyeballed it correctly. So let's get some floors in. Just as simple as that. And then you would create huge scale shift setups. Of course, you would have to test with your delay a bit, but it should be fairly simple to figure out. I think I used 6 or 7 repeaters in the nether lung, but we will see any minute when we test out the setup here. So let me quickly fill in the floor and then we'll finalize it. Okay, floor is in, and then we would basically do the same thing we did on the small setup here, but what you have to think about is, okay, where is my middle? Because we're gonna use it as lily pads. We did it here in the iron lung. It's a center, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4 of these pads in there. So you would say, okay, this block here is my center block. And from this center block you would space out your lily pads. Here, you would simply have a pillar. Better say, no, here is the middle. Here would be the exact middle, yeah. Right there. Because you would continue with your lily pads like that. Let me quickly put down some pistons so you can imagine how to continue. Go this way for the 11 blocks. Whoops. And you would go just do the same here, Also 11 blocks that side. And same thing over here. And then you would have the 4 pads there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here in the middle you need to bring up the power, and you need to power the whole thing. So what you could do, and that is saving up some space and some wiring because you power 2 sides, you would just bring down the power over here on these blocks, put down the redstone on top of it. Let me get some redstone. Don't need the glass at the moment. And you would put redstone down all along the way. And of course do the same thing to the other side. Then you would put a redstone torch in the middle and create a vertical pillar down and start with your power transmission. As vertical wiring with torches. So you would bring it up, and all the way below you would bring it down to where you want, and there you have your clock. That is how I hooked it up. You can put up the clock on top or whatever you want, but I used that centralized design with a torch coming up. Get spawns over there. I might switch off the mobs. So that is the first step. So now think, if you have a button here, and we would simulate our clock with the button right there. Signal comes in, shifts out. So what needs to happen? Needs to be activated. Signal travels over, and then with a delay come to this side and be pushed back. So yeah, why not just simply do that? Signal comes over. We go around. Keep in mind, right here there has to be a wall. Okay, you have to wall in your spawning pads. So you cannot just run the redstone right there. You could either go down a bit and run it here below. I think that's what I did. That will save you some space. So you create a little channel here. And then you should power your pistons. I have to remove our little demonstration setup here so I have enough space to work. But you would bring the power up like this and go behind the pistons. And make sure to get them all so you can power them all. So let's test it. The redstone comes along here. We should use a lever now, for example. Just to, oh no, that's not working. Right there. Okay. So we see how far the redstone reaches. So we would bring it around. and we would see it reaches until there. Okay, so now we can use the rest of the area here to put down some delay. You can play around with it a bit, how long you want to make it. Just gonna eyeball it for now. Let's throw in 5 or 6 repeaters. 3, 4, 5, 6. Put up a bit of delay so we have some time, you know, where the floor stands still and mobs would be able to spawn in. And we bring the signal further up, and to make sure we reach, put down another repeater. You could put some delay on here as well if you want, and then bring it back all the way to catch all the pistons. And there we go. Now you created a shifting floor setup. Let's remove the lever here. Okay. Now something weird happened because of the whatever happened now, I don't know. So let's send a quick signal in there. Floor shifts over, delay moves through and shifts it back. Just saw it. Let's do it again. I could put a button down there so we can see better on top of the pillar. So, oh no, it's not working. Only way it's here. Okay. Floor shifting, delay go through, shifting back. Again, shifting, delay go through, shifting back. And if you throw down, oh, I have to go to easy at least, put down a few mobs, spawn in here. Yeah, and we would start the shifting. No egg in my hand. Bam. Have to be careful not to hit too often. You have to wait for the delay. And by doing this and repeating the pulse thing, slowly but surely, all mobs would fall through. You know, there's other ways. You know, you could use the fence gates in between here, every second row, and you would make mobs drop down. That's also fairly cool, but at the moment the fence gates are glitched out a bit, so you have to be careful with that. To spider-proof an area like that, you would use, let me see, half slabs. I want to use a different color so you can see it a bit better. Let's pick some cobble. So you have to imagine you don't want that gap here. So here is the wall. It goes around. There's another wall. This. And where the creeper is standing, the floor will be gone when it shifts over, so you don't want that gap here. So this is your spawning pad. Fairly huge area, and you don't need that much pistons and stuff to do it. You know, sure, it's some amount of pistons, but it's working nicely and it's worth the effort. So if you want to make it spider-proof, to make sure to put down half slabs like this. Now they should not be able to spawn, maybe here in the corners. You never know, but normally half slab placement like that should make it spider-proof, but we should test it. If they spawn still in there, let's reset. Then you need some in the corners. Let's go to peaceful and go back to easy. And now get into the battle zone where mobs can spawn. I hope it's not too bright up here, but they should be spawning. We got a spider, but that was on the outside here. We will address that soon. You need to make the area spawn proof. Okay, come on. Yeah, all of them are spawning in there in the nether lung. It's more suitable for them because it's perfectly dark. But yeah, in any case, if you get any spider spawns in there, if you do it like that, you might think about putting down half slabs here in the corners, but you should be fine. If the floors are shifting now, of course the half slabs will stay in place and will not be affected by the shifting floors. You know, the floor just shifts below the half slabs. Well, and it's a bug, of course, that mobs fall through here or can fall through here, but as I said, later on you could use your fence gates every second row. That will decrease the spawning area but make it 100% foolproof, because then there will be just a gap and a mob will fall through. Of course, yeah, with the glitched fence gates, they open and close with block updates. It's not possible at the moment. So this is how you would lay out your basic design, and then you just repeat that. You know, do the same thing here, do the same thing over there, and then you have your first floor ready. And on top of that, you would just continue here with your vertical signal. Make sure you don't want to spawn Enderman in here, for example. You could do it, I think it should work, not quite sure, but how they would react on a water collector below. So yeah, this is more for too high mobs, so make sure to have your spawning rooms too high, and then you need another ceiling. And that will be sufficient to spawn your mobs, and on that level here you would have your next floor. No, you will have a wall here all the way up like this, and of course you would later on make sure, you know, to fill in all these places. You don't want any open gaps, and if you have areas like that, you would use glass. It will look like as the redstone is broken, but it's in fact not. Here nothing should be able to spawn, you know. Over here you could use glass or solid blocks, whatever you want. You have to make sure there's no areas where mobs can spawn in. And of course, later on, if you create like a wall around the whole thing, if you frame it in like I did, with this pattern there, you would close off or close in the redstone like this from the sides. And somehow, if you follow the principle form follows function, you would end up with a look like that. One thing I might want to address, and of course that spider did not spawn and it walked down. For the redstone, well, the shifting floors, the next shifting floors would be this level here. And you would simply copy what you have below. So you would go up, and let me see, where do the pistons have to go? Right there. So you would take your pistons. It depends a bit, you know, how your wiring comes in, if you have to invert the signal or not. And then you would have your next piston row like this. No, wrong, offset one block, I'm sorry. But we can use it as a help for building. Okay, so if we look at it, it is switched off now. Next torch would be on. That would be an issue. So what would you do? Well, you just use, oops, no torch, but redstone, because on top of this block here you have the same signal. So yeah, as simple as that. More sandstone, and then you would just bring out the signal like so to both sides. Let me finish that real quick. Yeah, and you know, you would power your second floor. To bring it up to the next floor, well, might need some niftiness. You can see it here as it is maxed out. I have 3 floors in here now. Well, what I did, you can see it here, I'm bringing the power up from the outside then to the next level. And then I spread out with repeaters. So that works as well, you know. So at the next level, at the end of this line, let me simulate the next floor. So that is the floor. Then we would have another, the floor is here, like so. then we would have another wall, and then in this height we would have the next shifting floors. So now you need to bring the power up to this level, and what I did, and that worked for me, I kind of when I was at the end of the of my piston row here, so it would be on that side, basically came out like that. Whoop. Use the repeater to bring the power up, and then I spun around like that, brought the power up, and then you can bring it to the next level. So like this. And of course, I mean, the pistons would be one level higher, but it's not a big issue. Just go like this. Oh, I made it on the wrong level, excuse me. But yeah, you get the idea, okay? So you would do it, of course, not on that level, but on this level here. Let's remove that, don't need that, and then go up. Then you could power the next row, and yeah, you would have to put down your repeaters a little bit differently, because you don't hit it from a centralized spot now. You would spread it out from here to this side, and do the same thing over here on the other side. Left, right, and let the signal travel on the right outsides. This time we got the repeaters here, and the signal comes from the middle, and for the last floor you would have the signal right here. You would send a pulse over there, open and close, and you would send a pulse with the delay back here to shift back. So almost the same. The only difference is your signal is not coming from the middle this time. That's how you would, that's the inner workings basically of the Nederlang. That's how you do it, that's how you build it up, and I think that explains it fairly well. Of course you can look at the stuff here in the download, and that's why I'm not gonna build the whole thing, you can have a look, you can check it out, and you can tear it apart and see the wiring and everything. But right here you can see basically the guts of it. And what I want to do for the last part, that is the clock, and to do that, we will simply build one down here and bring the power up. So the last part of a working Nederlang, with at least the automatic pulse, would be to create a clock. I use the clock here that is basically homebrewed. I just somehow put it together. I'm pretty sure there's more efficient designs or better designs, but I will show you my principle. I had blocks like that, and then you would have repeaters going around like so. You can adjust the delay of the clock with those repeaters. I used some blocks on the corners just for looks. You can use redstone here as well. Then you would bring it back. So then I thought, okay, now I need a way to stop the clock. So what I should have here is some kind of an auto start mechanism. To do that, I used a sticky piston. Just put it down like so. And then I thought, okay, I need to give that thing a rapid pulse, so it quickly pulses it in and out, and well, different ways to do one. Let's see what we can do now. I need some torches for that, of course. Redstone torches. Let me quickly find them. Put it down here. Okay, extend the area a bit. As I said, once again, not the most compact design maybe, but I rather prefer if you understand the principle, what we want to do, rather than just copying something. So Let's create, oops, it's a rapid pulsar. Could do it like this, some delay down. This is the output here, right behind the piston, and we have another torch there. And we bring over the redstone, and there we go. Button is needed, and you can create a rapid pulsar. Oop. Okay, so what it does basically, the redstone travels over and pulses that torch here. With a short delay there comes another pulse, and that makes it flicker real quick. You can adjust your delay here, and the good thing is if you have a piston like this and you give it a short pulse, it does that. It's a sticky piston and it leaves the block in there, so that is a nice way how you could control clocks and switch them off. The last thing we basically needed was then I need to hit one button, that's that one, and bring a signal somewhere inside my clock to make it start. So I just thought, okay, why not branch off from here? So that's what I did. Come in with some delay, may put a torch down there, invert the signal because we don't want to be permanently powered, and we put some delay down. Okay, so hit it, didn't work. Huh, that's weird, should work, but it didn't. So I had to make it a little bit more complicated. I'm pretty sure there, as I said, there are better setups. I don't know, so I brought the power over here and thought, why is it not, there should be, the torch should be flickering at least. Let's try it out, and it does. So maybe can get it to work like this. Try again. Aha. So if you switch it on, send a nice little pulse into the clock, and it will keep on doing what it's supposed to do. Circle, 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 until you press the button again and thus stop it. There we go. So now the last thing you need is the heartbeat, and it's getting dark. I want to quickly head to bed. And the heartbeat is then when you got the clock running, really simple, and get some daylight going. Okay, let's get back over there. Hello, Mr. Weirdo up there. Yeah, so you pick one of these blocks where you could take a signal from. Let's use that one. And you would bring it out where you want to put down your heartbeat. And might invert the signal. You want to, not 100% necessary, and then you would have your note blocks. I'm just gonna show you the principle again. You can make it more compact, but as I said before, rather understand what's going on, just replicating something. So that sucks, not a nice sound. We need the really thump boom boom for the heart, so you need stone blocks. And what I did, you see, the deepest one, go directly in, and then with some delay, maybe 1 or 2 repeaters, you would come around like that. I don't know if 2 is even needed, we'll see. So it started. Where was my starter button? Over there. Oh, I forgot one. It's too fast. Yeah. Okay. Yep, there we go. Would be kind of a nice heartbeat. You can play around with it if you want. And then one of the outputs you would use to power your shifter up there. You could, for example, bring a vertical wire up here. Have a nice blinking signal. You could use this for all kinds of stuff. But in that case, I used it to power the sieve trap. The key is you need to adjust your delay here. If we have a look at the clock I use inside the iron lung, you can see I'm using 12 repeaters and all of them are on maximum delay. Okay, and that is enough time to send a pulse, let the floor shift to the left and to the right, and then there comes the next pulse. And that is what you have to figure out. It all depends a bit on the delays and timings you use in your setup, but that's basically it. That's how you would make a sieve trap, and that is the control unit. As I said, not the most compact, but I hope you understood the principle. And I'd say that's it for this tutorial. Make sure to check the video description for all the downloads, and you can have a look at your own time and figure out things. But I think it should be quite obvious what to do now. I hope you liked this video. I'm out. Bye bye.